guys, I just wanted to make this video just to sort of show off some of the detail I put into my LEGO Vector CRB. I just, yeah, just wanted to do that. This is actually one of my favorite weapons that I have made so far. It's one of my favorite weapons in real life as well. It's a really awesome weapon. If you haven't seen any documentaries or read any information about it, this weapon is really truly an amazing weapon, and I think you'd be pretty interested in watching an actual video about a Vector CRB or just a Vector. Okay, so the first detail I would like to point out on this weapon is the fact that there is two separate portions to the weapon. And they're easily separated by removing 3 pins. In the real Vector CRB, there would be 4 pins to separate the upper receiver from the lower receiver, but there was no need for me to have the 4th pin. It would be there for looks. I could add it on really easily, simply by taking pretty much just one of these and another one of these and putting it right there, and that would be adding the 4th pin, but there's really no need for that, so porque no. So first thing when field stripping his weapon is make sure there are no bullets or magazine inside the weapon. So I'm just gonna do that, check it real quick. So I think we are good. So next step is to remove the weapon. So I'm gonna pull out the pins. They're out. The little pieces holding the pins are out. Flip it over to the other side. There's 1 pin, 2 pins, and the final pin is this one over here, and it is the most important one because it is the most sturdy one. So, and then just slides off, just like that. No extra bricks holding it on together. It's all just smooth attaching. Yep, and that's what the lower receiver looks like. In the real Vector CRB, when the weapon is shot, the bolt would go back, and then it would be carried down in the gun in this little crevice that I have right here. I'm not able to have the crevice. I would actually have done that, had it where it goes down into the little crevice back here, if I didn't have to have this little piece sticking up for the pins. So just set that aside. This is also the charging handle right here, and the bolt lock. So, moving on to the detail of the upper receiver, notice that this part is still attached to the weapon. This is what it actually looks like when it is field stripped. This part is flimsy without the lower receiver being attached. But that's the way I had to do it in order to make it. When this is attached, it's 100% sturdy. This isn't coming loose because it can't come back, but it can go forward. But when it's going forward, it's being blocked by this, so that's fine. But if one thing I'd like to point out is if I were to transfer this into instructions or something to make it, if you wanted to make a color-coded version, I would just be able to send it to you just like this. You would make the low receiver all tan except for the bolt lock, the tactical rails, and the barrel, in which there would actually be a barrel shroud over it. It looks like a suppressor, but it's just a barrel shroud to lower kick and keep the barrel cool. The bolt would still be black or gray. Charging handle would be black or a darker gray color. And then the upper receiver would just be all black and be easy to just make. So, some detail is in the pistol grip is the little covering part, sort of. Kind of reminds me of the MTAR or an AUG or something. I don't have the trigger guard here. It was a little boxy. I made one, but it just looked really blocky, and it just blocked my fingers and just felt uncomfortable, so I didn't include it. Yeah, the handle is very comfortable. I have a bunch of these on it for extra comfort, I guess. This is the same angle going through, so you know it's all the angles. This gun, the handle, these all have the same angle. So this is the same angle. This part is at the same angle as this part, even though it doesn't really look like it, considering this is all boxy, but it's at the same angle. Some more detail around on the upper receiver are the 2 fire selector switches. You have the fully automatic, 2-round burst, and semi-automatic on the front, and then on the rear you have the safety and the fire. On the front you have the ejection port. This part of the weapon actually is supposed to be indented the way I have it, just like this. It's supposed to be thinner or just more indented than the rest of the gun, and I was able to achieve that pretty simply just by making this type piece and having one of these pieces on there. Sorry, I think I might be catching a cold. I'm definitely not going through puberty, I know that much. This isn't actually how it's supposed to look, though. It's supposed to have a little angle going down into, like, it's supposed to be like one of these type pieces, kind of. But yeah, and since I'm focused on the stock, you can see a bit of the detail I put into the stock as well. Just all the angles and everything I have the sling mount right here. The stock, I have the little bumps and crevices inside of it to help it stay on your shoulder. It's not very sturdy, it's only being held on by 4 blocks, but that's the way the real one looks like. The reason the stock is shaped like this is so that the weapon can be fired from the folded stock position. This is how I am fairly confident that this is a 1-to-1 scale, is that when the stock is folded over, the ejection port is indeed visible. So, if it wasn't 1-to-1 scale, that might be covering it, it might be too far back, if it was too long or something, but I'm fairly confident that this is indeed a 1-to-1 scale of the Lego Vector. I wasn't able to find the exact measurements of the Vector online. This folding stock is pretty simple. It's just one of these hinge pieces, and this button, just like that, and it clips in to it. You are still able to operate the safety and fire selector switch, but not the actual firing modes very well. Although I think you can, because, let's see. No, you cannot. Oh, kind of ish. But yeah. It's folded over. On the top of the weapon you have the tactical rail, although not too much of it is showing because you have the forward iron sights, the rear iron sight, and the EOTech, which is built into the weapon because I didn't want the rubber bands to be visible when they were loaded in, really, but even though they are visible in this little section right here and going down into there, I just didn't want to see a hole in my gun. So, yeah, and then I kept the iron sights on there to sort of hide the little light brick. It would be inside of here, and you would push down on this, and it would reflect into it. The glass, or the plastic piece, inside the EOTech is actually at an angle, to angle it down at the light brick, to create the dot look on it, which is actually the dot, not a dot look. And then here you have the bolt, and then the bolt lock, which is activated. It's pushed out, and then you just push it in, and it goes forward. And charging handle, just another one of those hinge pieces, just like that, and a rubber band to help it spring back when you pull it back. And then to put the gun back together, simple, just as easy as taking it apart. So you just put it on, attach it to there, get your first pin, second pin, and your third pin. Just all snug duck in there. Okay, make sure this one doesn't fall out because one of them is loose, the gray one. That's my little special pin. So put that one on first, I guess, so it doesn't come out. There we go, don't have to worry about that one anymore. The bottom one, and the main pin, the last one. So, yeah, that's the detail on the upper receiver. Oh, this came off, oh my gosh. So, I'm going to go to some detail on the lower receiver. On the lower receiver, there isn't much to it. You have the magazine release right here, and then here's your magazine. It's a pretty nice magazine design, I think. It's 4 blocks, 4 studs wide. This way, this is, I know it's not, it doesn't look like it might look like it's 4 studs because it is. At the top, you can see this is 4 studs and it goes throughout. And then on the bottom of the magazine is indeed actually larger than the part that is fed into the weapon. So, it loads in. You don't have to push down on the button. Push on the button to release it though. There we go, that's all you gotta do. Boop. Load it in. Pull back the charging handle. The bolt locks. Normally, the charging handle would go forward independently of the bolt, but I was mostly too lazy and didn't want to figure out a way to do that. So yeah, that goes forward and back independent at the same time rather than independently. Here you have the ambidextrous fire selector switch on both sides, safety. You have the longer barrel in the Vector CRB rather than the K10 version, which has the shorter barrel and yeah. Stock, yeah, it folds over on the right side of the weapon. There isn't too much on the lower receiver. I have the tactical rail on the bottom, on the right side, and on the opposite side corresponding. Again, not going through puberty, I don't know what the frick is going on, I'm just sick. But yeah, that was just sort of showing off some detail that I put into this weapon. As well, the way I did the lower receiver for the magazine, as you can see, it's, this is actually 1x4s on a slant, and then the magazine actually just goes in at the direct angle, so it's very nice. Yeah, thank you for watching. Here on the other side you can see inside of the magazine, not the magazine but the ejection port, and then released it. Oh, sorry, this is a little jammy, but yeah, that's what it looks like when it's closed and opened. But yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope this hope it might help you with when you're making your, if you're ever gonna make a model of a Vector CRB. Just think about as much detail as you possibly can that you have with the weapon, and because that's, I mean, I tried. If you don't think I put a lot of detail in the weapon, then tell me what do you think I could improve on besides color, of course, because I've already addressed the problem that I do not have enough pieces to indeed make a color-coded weapon. So yeah, thank you. Bye.